Hey, what's going on my YouTube warriors out there? Do me a solid, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, hit that notification bell so you can get more chapters to the story and find out what happened next. Um, so, have you ever told a story that happened so long ago where things get confused in your mind? You can't remember an exact date, an exact year, and you get the chronological order, a little bit messed up. So, in one of the videos I uploaded, I had gone straight into what was going on at the Sabino Gordo, at the club that was on Arteaga y Villagran. That was the name of the cross streets, Arteaga y Villagran. So yeah, I went right into how I went out to the mountain to work for how I came back from that trip. Working for the English school in Mexico City, and that didn't turn out. That turned out to be a fiasco. The shenanigans in Mexico City, and I basically had a police escort out of town, out of the second most populous city in the world. So they sent me back to Monterrey, and that dude let me use his apartment, and I ended up, those dudes were dicks. I mean, they were some college, really preppy. They looked down on me like this, American gringo tattooed white boy with, tattoos and shit. And they just basically looked down on me because I didn't work, I didn't go to school or anything. So they were a bunch of little jerk offs. So I robbed them. Back then, laptop computers were new technology. They still had the thick, not the Motorola Razors, the ones that were a little bit thicker. The bottom folded down, but they were still the thick gray ones with the antenna that popped up. So I sold the stuff to my cousin, and they were trying to find me. That's when my uncles all worked in the government. One uncle was a federal judge, one uncle was a lawyer, one was a licenciado. All my uncles were doctors or lawyers. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you a picture of how young I was back then. You know what? I'm gonna have to paste it up on the phone when the video's done. But you know what? Hold on. Let me see if I can grab it real quick. All right, I got World of Tanks Blitz on here. I'm battling some tanks right now. It's a pretty cool game. All right, let me go to my. Yeah, I'm gonna post this up at the end of the video, anyways. Them dudes off, and they were all worked in the government, judges, lawyers, things like that. And I had an Uncle Luis who really pretty much hated my guts. I mean, they didn't like me at all. I mean, I was drunk every day, all day, smoking reefer. I mean, even the way I was looking at my own cousins, because my cousins were, I mean, they were banging. They were banging. They were like 17, 18, and they were smoking hot. And, I mean, shit, I thought of it, I thought, and you might look at me crazy, but I went down there and I thought of it like, look, if I came down here on vacation and I ran into this girl at the mall, what are the chances that she would be my cousin? Or if I did, if we did get our groove on and I found out later she was my cousin, and I probably wouldn't stop. You know what I'm saying? So I was looking at my cousins like, damn. And my uncles knew it. And my grandma's sister, she hated me. There was only two aunts and one uncle that was a doctor that were cool with me. You know, I was down there messing with them dancers at the strip clubs, and you know, I had to go show them my thing. I had to go show them my business. He wasn't looking right. He wasn't feeling right. And he was just like, damn, man. He said, you got to stay out of them joints. And if you're going to be going in them joints, you need to stay out to them women. And he was just like, man. But so their idea was, see, down there, if you got a problem with somebody and you have enough money, you can pay the police to get rid of that person. And my cousin had told me, he had warned me that that's what my uncles were thinking about doing, paying the police to get rid of me. So this is when I'm running amok with Billy Foster, the barber from the mall. And me and him are running amok. And so one day, you know, I'm at my cousin's house, and I just, you know, they came wake me up really early in the morning. I mean, I got Jordan shoes, Rolex watch. I mean, I got all kind of shit. They don't even give me time to pack a bag. I got money and traveler's checks and cashier's checks in my uncle's safe. You know what I'm saying? Because I had gone back for the girl after came back and got in the settlement. So I had money in the safe. I had a Rolex watch. I had all this shit. And they're just, you know, come on, wake up, get dressed, get your stuff, throw your stuff in the bag. We're going to the airport. You're going home. We're putting you on the plane. We're making sure you get on the plane. You know, your grandmother knows, your people know you're coming. You know, you're out of here. And so basically, I got kicked out of Mexico by my family. Like, they just straight up kicked me out of Mexico. But I was in contact the whole time with the girl Anadelia and the girl Micaela, the girls from the mall that I had mentioned when my boy Billy was cutting hair. So I'm calling them collect. And they're like, yeah, if you can get it together, come on down, come on down, come on down. So, you know, I had been gone for some time. So I come back to Chicago. And I'm looking, I'm like, damn, it's good to be home. You know, all this, you know, this is familiar territory. This feels good. So I'm walking around my dad's neighborhood, and, you know, I walk by this house, and I remember the house from when I was a kid in grammar school. And this was my first girlfriend ever, Nicole Danker. And I'll throw her name out there, Nicole Danker, because she did me dirty. Usually I wouldn't put a name out there like that. But I walked up to the fence to get into the backyard, and I reached over, and I had found the latch. I remembered exactly how to get into the backyard, walk in the backyard. Everything's the same. I walk up on the front porch, ring the doorbell. Her mom answers. And, you know, I asked her mom, you know, do you remember who I am? And they were an Italian, and half Italian, half Mexican family. So her mom's like, oh, Alvarito, Billy, how have you been? And no, she's not home. She's at school right now. She goes to DePaul. I'll give you her number. You can call her when she comes home. So, you know, I go out that night with my homeboys, with my boy Mark and Mark, some other dudes, and we go out. So I call her up, and she's like, yeah, you know, what have you been doing for the last 10 years? And, you know, why don't you come on over tomorrow? So, you know, just like when we were kids, I let myself over the gate, undid the latch, let myself in the backyard, knocked on the back door. And back then, she was kind of funny looking. Short hair, short choppy hair, braces. You know, she didn't really, I mean, shit, we're 12, 13 years old. But now she answered the door, and she had some legs. I mean, she had a set of chopsticks on her that went all the way up to heaven. You know what I'm talking about? I mean, this girl was smoking. She was smoking. And so we're sitting down on the couch in the basement looking at the old yearbooks, school yearbooks, high school yearbooks, just making fun of people and shit like that and talking shit. And I noticed the engagement ring on her. So I kept scooting a little close to her, scooting a little closer to her. Say, what are you doing? You can't be getting. What? She's like, I'm engaged. I'm getting married. Get out of here. And I'm like, all right, well, shit. You know, I can't blame me for trying. And you know, so we talk about what we talk about. I end up going home, and the next day she calls me. Uh, You know, I had just gotten off a plane, so I'm sleeping on the couch in my dad's house. I think I might even be sleeping on the floor, but phone rings. I knew it could be nobody but her. I answer the phone, it's her. She says, hey, she says, I got a lot of studying and stuff, and I got some homework to do, and I have to prepare for this stuff at school. And usually, you know, my little brother Frankie, he bugs me. So what I do when I have this much work is I go get a hotel room. All right. I go get a hotel room, a motel room to do my homework. And I'm not even thinking, like, she's giving me the okey doke. You know, I'm not the hotel room, the homework. Yeah, okay, whatever. She's like, you want to come with me? And it's still not clicking. It's still not registering. We're not going to no motel to do homework. So, you know, we get in there. You know, she starts looking at her books and shit. I jump on the bed. I'm clicking the TV, changing the channels, and it's still not. You know what? I messed around with so many girls and did so much. There was so much debauchery and defilement going on in Mexico that this isn't even clicking yet. But then somehow we start wrestling around on the bed, and you know, she's like, "I know some wrestling moves." I was like, "Yeah, you know some wrestling moves, huh?" And that's how it started with the wrestling moves. Next thing, I got shirts off. You know, we're going. You know, we do the dirty, we do the deed, we did the dirty. You know, and she's getting married in a couple of weeks, and you know, I'm working, doing a little painting on the side. I found a gig. Uh, you know, doing some painting. But this girl's about to get married, and he only sees her on the weekends, on Saturday and Sunday. During the week, he works 2 jobs to put her through school and pay for her shit. And during the week, I mean, like every day of the week, she's paying for hotels. We're going out. We're doing this and that. One day, she just comes out and tells me, I think I'm falling in love with you. So I tell her, well, you know, what do you want me to do about it? I mean, you're getting married. Well, I mean, what do you want me to? Where are you going with this? What do you want me to do? You want me to disappear this guy, whack this guy on the trunk of a, you know? I mean, I mean, do you want this guy to not come home anymore? Is that what you're saying? She's like, no, nothing like that. And she, you know, if he disappears, I'm gonna know you had something to do with it. And I'm not going to be too happy, you know, and I'll tell, and I'll be like, all right, you know, I'm not going to, don't worry, you're going to get married. That's fine. She's like, but I don't know what to do. I think I'm falling in love with you. So I had ran into some problems. I needed a place to stay. Her parents actually let me crash out in the basement where her bedroom was. So now me and her are living in the same basement. And this guy's coming over, you know, on the weekends. And he's like, who's this guy? You know, and her parents like, oh, that's just her friend from school. He's having problems at home. You know, he's in her class. He's helping her with their homework. He's looking at me like, you mother. But, you know, what's he going to say? You know, he's got to believe. I'm sure he's saying something to her about it in private, but in front of her parents, she's not saying nothing about it. So, you know, I'm starting to get in good with her dad. I think he was into something because I was taking rides down Harlem up towards Cermak into Cicero and Berwyn that way. And he's telling me, you know, whatever you see with me, whatever goes on with me, you know, is between you and me. You don't say nothing to nobody. And we're picking up envelopes of money and we're picking up packages and shit. So, you know, I never asked too many questions, but I was real cool with your old man. And I started putting away some money. So I had my money at her house. So one day, it was early in the morning, and it's getting, now it's getting closer and closer and closer to when she's going to be getting married. So I go to her house one morning, knock on the back door. I think it's going to be her that answers. So it's her dad that comes to the back door, says, "Yeah, man, I'm sorry, dude, but she don't want to see you anymore. She don't want to talk to you no more." I'm like, "What are you talking about? We were just on good terms. Nothing happened." He's like, "I don't know, man. That's what she asked me to say." And I was like, "Well, I got money there, and I need money." And he's like, "All right, hold on. Let me get some cash for you." So he gave me a couple $100, whatever. He's like, "You know what? You come back later and we'll adjust accounts and we'll get you straightened out and we'll get you your money. But here's just something so you're cool for now. You come back later on this afternoon, when she's not here, whatever." And, so I went back later that afternoon and I got my money. But for some reason, with this girl, I don't know why this hit me so hard. I was still young, mind you. I think I might have been only 20, 21, around there. But I don't know why it hit me so hard. But this like broke my heart because I was falling for her too. And I remember I went home, packed all my shit in my bag, and I called on Adelia and I called Micaela at the mall down in Monterrey. And I let them know, "Hey, I'm going through some thing. I think I need to come back down." And they're like, "Hey, if you can get here, just worry about getting here." I had not 2 nickels to rub to. No, I had that money. I don't know what the hell I did with that money. I think I probably went and got shit-faced and partied. Well, I had a little bit of money left, but I didn't want to buy a bus ticket or anything like that. And I didn't have that much money left. So what I did was I packed my bag and I went to 38th and Kedzie where the Mexican bus lines were. El Conejo, El Tornado, and I think there was a Greyhound bus that went through there. But these buses would drive all the way down through Texas and into your destination in Mexico. So I go down there with my bag. I'm sitting around waiting around the waiting room, the lobby. I get on the bus. And I get on the bus. The bus driver asks me for my ticket. He don't speak English. He just speaks Spanish. And I'm like, "What, man? I don't speak no Spanish. I don't know what you're talking about." And then I just go sit down. So the girl comes and asks me for my ticket. She doesn't speak Spanish. So I start telling her in Spanish, "Hey, pues no traigo boleto, no, pues, ¿qué me estás diciendo? No sé de lo que me estás hablando, no traigo boleto." And she's like, okay. And then someone on the bus spoke up and said, "No, he's good. He's been waiting with us. He's got a ticket. We seen him." And I don't know why they did that, but and I'm getting nervous sitting on this bus because we're getting farther and farther away. And by the time we hit like Kansas City, I knew I was gonna make it. So I got on this bus without a penny to piss on, made it all the way to Laredo, Texas. All right, and it's around Christmas time, and a lot of people were traveling back from the United States to destinations in Mexico. So when we got to the connection in Laredo, Texas, on the border for people to buy their tickets, their connections into their destination in Mexico, everybody got off the bus to go into the office and buy their ticket. And they're Mexican, so everybody's paying cash. $100 bills, 20s, 50s. And I'm watching the woman just throw the shit all in a drawer, all this cash. So she picks up this cooler full of sodas, and the other woman picks up a cooler full of sandwiches and snacks to hand them out to people on the bus, and they leave the inside of the business unattended. I look around and I'm looking. I'm like, what the fuck? I reach over the counter, open the drawer, and I just start grabbing handfuls of money, stuffing them in my pocket. So, uh, and now I'm sweating, right? Because I know I just stole this money. So I'm waiting for us to get to the border. When you pull up at the border, the light, it's a little stoplight, red or green. If it lights up red, you stop for an inspection. If it lights up green, you just go. We get to the American side of the border. We cross the bridge. We get to the Mexican side. The thing lights up green. We go. Bam. We're in Nuevo Laredo. We're in Mexico. I committed the felony in United States and Texas. I'm clear. This money's mine. But we got to stop at a customs house and fill out our visa papers. You know, you got to pay like, I think it was $20 for a tourist visa or a transmigrant visa. That's good for 90 days, right? So we get here, and I got this luggage, and the guy doing the visa thing, the immigration guy, tells me, he's like, well, we have a problem with your, I don't know what the problem was. But he said, we have a problem with your identification or something maybe, or something in your bag. We need to go in the office and call the consulate. And I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't kosher. Something's not right here. We've never gone through this before. So we go in the office, and the woman from the bus station is in there crying her eyes out. But before this, dig this. I forgot about this part. Without my ID, I couldn't get, that's what happened. Without my ID, they couldn't give me the visa paper. So they sent me back to go to a notary public, sent me back to Texas to go to a notary public and get a document that says I'm an American citizen. So I go back into Texas with all this money and go get take a taxi. I'm over there eating, spending the money. And I come back with the documentation I need. That's what gave them time. That's what gave the woman time to get back there and tell them what happened, and what gave them time to wait for me. And they were just waiting for me to come through because right away, can you come with us in the office? We got to make a call to the consulate and this and that. And I seen the woman from the bus station crying. She's going to lose her job. They're going to have her arrested. She's going to have to pay the money back, this, that, and the other thing. And the cop's like, where's the money? Where's the money? I got it stashed in different pockets, down my pants and my socks. So I pulled out as much as I could out of my pockets, and I said, look, this is what I have left. And it was enough for the woman to take that and be happy with that. She took that money and she's like, oh, thank you. And, I still had money in my socks and down my crotch. But she was just so happy that she got back. She recovered what she did. So now the guy tells me, this is some kind of Mexican official, an immigration official, I think. He says, you are lucky that you committed the crime on the Laredo, Texas side. He told me in Spanish, he says, que tuviste suerte que cometiste el delito al lado americano. And, I knew exactly what that meant. So he also told me, no queremos gente así como tú en Mexico. We don't want people like you in Mexico. Get the fuck out of here. You don't want people like me in Mexico? Get the fuck out of here. Gonna tell me I can't come into Mexico? Are you out of your motherfucking mind? But what am I gonna do? These are cops. They got guns and shit. I'm sure if I would have had, 50 pesos, they would have liked people like me in Mexico, and would have let me right through. But he escorts me to the bridge. Some police from the United States come and meet him halfway, and they take me back, and they're like, well, go, it's whatever. So I have to wait, till the shift changes and go back when there's another guard. And so I just go back when the shift changes, get my visa thing, and go back and get a taxi to the bus station and take the bus back down to Monterrey. Now, it's getting to be around Christmas time. It's about a week away from Christmas. Now, people are expecting me down here because I've been calling on Adelia Luna from the shoe store, from Giglio, Micaela from the clothing store. Man, still to this day, when I think of that Micaela, oh man, she was beautiful, man. And that girl on Adelia, she wasn't all that hot, but her family was involved in the government, and she would have married me at the drop of a hat. She was so in love. And I just used her up, drained her bank account, and that's another story. And we'll get into that one. We will talk about that one. But so they're waiting for me. Everybody's waiting for me to come to town. Billy Foster's waiting. And while I've been gone, Billy Foster been fucking with my cousin and fucking with my cousins and shit. So Billy Foster, he's still around down there. This is my guy. This is my man, Billy. So if you ever see this, if you're ever on YouTube, Billy, shout out to you, man. You know you was my man down in Monterrey. So they're having a Christmas party at my aunt's house. You know, they got all this food. They got the nastiest, cheapest vodka, and like Oso Negro vodka, and you know, tequila, and they got they had Buchanan's whiskey and all kind of beer and all kind of food. So I get there with my luggage and I just walk in the front door and everybody goes crazy. Ah, ya llegó el Billy, ahí está el güero, ya llegó el güero, ya llegó el Billy, ya llegó el pinche güero loco, este pinche loco ya está aquí. Y que la chingada. So we start partying and having a good time. My aunt's friend Norma from Laredo, she's there. But we just got wrecked. I mean, everybody got wrecked. I mean, we all ate, we drank, we were so drunk. I mean, we got so trashed. I mean, this is nothing to be proud of, and this is nothing to tell your kids. Well, nothing to tell my kid about. But I got so wrecked. I pulled out my business. I slapped my ham right on the dinner table, you know, right in the dining room. I just pulled out my piece and just slapped it right on the table because Billy dared me. I wouldn't do it. I went up to the table, looked around, unzipped, pulled it out, and said, "Smack." Probably didn't make that big of a smack, but you know, I did do that. You know, I pulled the old piece out and set it right on the dinner table. And Billy's like, and then everybody's like, "Oh, what the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck are you doing? What the?" And then everybody else, they're asking Billy because they don't know if it's some kind of American thing that we do up here. You know, it's some kind of ritual. I said, "Billy, what's wrong with him, man? What's he doing?" And you know, it was a good time. I woke up in the morning. Oh, man, dehydrated, headache. Just all I wanted to do was just chug water and puke all morning. Until me and Billy went to go get a bottle of Lajita. It was this shit that they sold down at, you know, they have these stores that they sell like this homemade shit. And I don't even think this was like ethyl alcohol. I think this might have been like methanol, like the shit that you go blind when you drink. But it had a worm in it and a sticker on it. And shit, the sticker probably said poison. But we started mixing this shit with grapefruit. They had this grapefruit soda called Tronja. And I used to love mixing this Lajita. It was Lajita, or they sold another one called Don Bucho. And I liked the Don Bucho because that shit was clear. And the Lajita had like a caramel, like a yellowish color to it. I like the Don Bucho. But I'd mix the Don Bucho with the Tronja and just get tore up, drink the worm and everything. And so we started drinking the next day and got tore up. But yeah, that was the episode when my family basically snatched me up out of the house, put me on an airplane. I came back. no, I came back. My uncles, nobody knew I was back. And I came in the house, got all tore up at the Christmas party, and pulled my business out and slapped my meat, slapped my ham on the dining room table, and got all tore up. And me and Billy and everybody, we had a great time. We had a blast. And only thing, Christmas was in about a week, so I went with Billy to stay where he was staying. He was renting this little apartment, this little room or something. He had some kind of deal with the landlady. And I knew it was weird. I thought it was funny because we'd be going in the room and we'd be like real quiet. And we'd get in there and I'd want to leave to go get something. And he'd be like, no, you got to leave like this. You leave out the window and you climb up this pipe and you get up on the roof and then you cross to the other roof and then you can climb down. And I'm like, bro, I'm not climbing out this fucking window, climbing up no fucking pipe if I'm going to fall and kill myself. Fuck you. I'm going out the way I came in, but, he didn't like that. I don't think. And the woman there, she didn't want people in there drinking, partying. And we just had all these bottles of Don Bucho, bottles of Presidente, brandy. Just this room was just, it just looked like all we did was defile ourselves 24/7 in that room. But it was Christmas Eve. I remember I didn't know where Billy was. I didn't know what happened to him. And I'm in this room trying to get some sleep and some rest because I had been partying the day before, like partying hard with hard drugs and hard alcohol. So all I want to do is go to sleep. There's a knock on the door. It's the landlady with the police, the municipal police. So she's like, where's the other guy? I don't know where he's at. She's like, well, you guys got to go. And I grabbed all of his important shit, his clothes, his tattoo gun, and all his tattoo shit. I mean, I left all the bottles of liquor and, I left all the bullshit. But I just grabbed the sheet, all his clothes, all his hair cutting shit, all his tattooing shit. I wrapped it all up in like a hobo sack, threw it over my shoulder. And at my cousin's house, in the backyard was like a little building, but it had 4 beds. It's kind of like it had 2 top bunks welded, one on this wall, one on this wall. So two top bunks like this and 2 bottom bunks like that. A TV welded, mounted up in the corner. It had a bathroom with a sink and a shower. So it's kind of cold out. I mean, not cold like Chicago cold, but it's chilly. Now I got nowhere to go. I'm hungry. I got very little money. So, and I know my family left on some trip somewhere else. They're not there. Nobody's there. So I get into the back and I get into that little room. So I remember, oh, thank God. And I just remember I slept on that top bunk watching TV, watching Christmas movies. And that's how I passed Christmas Eve. And watching Home Alone. And I don't even think Home Alone 2 was out yet. But Home Alone was out. I watched Home Alone and some other Christmas movies. And Billy came around the next day and seen his shit that I had. Because he went back and he didn't know where his shit was. And he's seen all his shit and he's like, oh, man, I love you. He's like, thank God. He's like, you're the best, man. He's like, if you wouldn't have grabbed my stuff, then police would have got rid of it. And, so that's how I passed that Christmas Eve and that Christmas. Watching, just lucky to have a nice place to sleep and, some food and shit to eat and, being able to watch some movies on TV. And then Billy came the next day and we got right back at it, at our shenanigans. So, and this is still not even close. I still haven't even started working in the strip clubs yet. So that means I haven't started working at security at the Sabino Gordo yet. So this is before that. This is the prologue before the strip joints and shit like that. This is even before they sent me out, because right after this, they sent me out on that ranch. You know, or I don't know, maybe they sent me out on the ranch the last time when I ripped them dudes off coming back from Mexico City. But this is, I had just come right back into town. They scooped me up, like kidnapped me and my shit, took me to the airport, sent me back to Chicago. I spent a couple weeks in Chicago with that girl, Nicole. You know, she broke my heart or did what felt like, you know, because I didn't have any relationships like that down in Mount. All I had was sex, you know. And, you know, she really hurt me, so I took off down there. So this is right after my family had like kicked me out of Mexico, put me on an airplane, spent a couple weeks in Chicago with this girl, Nicole, and then got on the bus without a penny to piss on, robbed the bus depot at the border, got into it with the border officials at the Mexican border. They told me, we don't want people like you in Mexico. I had to wait for the border guard to change, the shift of the border immigration police to change, and then finally got to where I had to go, and we had a wild old party. And me, you know, Billy Foster got back together again. So I think just about pretty soon, a couple more things happen before I end up in the Sabino Gordo, and we're going to get to that tomorrow. It's a little bit more fucking around with Billy Foster, and then we're going to get into it. So that's going to be, this is almost going on 40 minutes. So we're going to get into some more fucking around with Billy Foster before I end up in the strip joints and in the Sabino Gordo. So I'm going to sign off. Peace out to all my YouTube warriors out there. Peace out to everybody in Chi-Town. I mean, y'all are running amok regardless, but, you know, don't shoot too many people out there. It's almost Christmas. You know, people want to have Christmas with their families. You know, so, you know, before you pick up that gun and before you shoot indiscriminately, you know, please aim. At least aim and hit who you're shooting at, you know. And besides that, you know, best wishes to everybody, to all my YouTube warriors and all my soon-to-be YouTube warriors. Peace out, and I'm going to check y'all out hopefully tomorrow. Peace.